Today I'm going to show you how to weigh and measure your food using a scale, measuring spoons, and measuring cups. Hey, I'm Matt from Matt Lane Fitness. Whether you're meal prepping or tracking calories or both, measuring your food is the best way to be as accurate as possible and to hit those nutrition goals that you're working on. So I'm going to start with a scale, but hang out to the end of the video and I'll show you these little bendy spoons that I've found on Amazon that are fantastic. If you don't have any of these items, I'm gonna have a link in the description below if you wanna check it out. Using a scale, you can essentially weigh anything. Protein is a big thing that you wanna weigh. I'm gonna do some chicken here. You're gonna wanna grab a plate, that way you can keep your scale clean. You're gonna first start by turning it on and then waiting for it to zero out. And then you're gonna place your plate on top. Now we got the plate on there, you wanna hit tare, and it's gonna zero it out. Now you start adding the chicken on there until you hit the mark that you want. I typically do about 5 ounces per meal. So there it is, 5 ounces on the dot. Had you had to cut some of that chicken in half, feel free to do so. It defaults to ounces. You have the ability to switch it over to grams. Typically, bigger foods you wanna weigh in ounces. Smaller food you wanna do in grams, such as rice or even vegetables. When it comes to weighing foods cooked or uncooked, what really matters is stick to the method that you've been doing. Be consistent in the same way. You don't want to do uncooked one day and then cooked the next day. I typically just do cooked. There's less mess. You don't have to worry about cross-contamination, getting raw meat and stuff like that on your actual scale. It's just a little easier to do it once it's cooked. You can also do something called reverse weighing, which is still weighing the food, but it's typically when you have a bunch of food that you know you're gonna be putting in Tupperware and you don't wanna have to take the Tupperware on and off the scale and zero and re-zero constantly. So what you do is you put your big pile of chicken right there on the scale. There's 2 ways you can start this. You can put the chicken on the scale and then turn it on, or turn it on and then hit zero. If you put the chicken on the scale before you turn it on, it's gonna zero itself already. So I'm gonna turn it on. It's gonna zero itself. There we go. So right now, it looks like there's nothing. It's not weighing anything. But when we start to take chicken off, we can basically reverse weigh it. So we have 4.9 ounces, 5.10. So there you go. So then you can just pull and go. You can either just add up to, it would be 10 ounces, or you can re-zero and then take off the chicken till you get to that 5 ounce mark. It's just a seamless process doing it this way. Next, we're doing measuring spoons. You don't want to use your classic spoons that you have at your house because they might not be accurate. So what a lot of people tend to overestimate is salad dressing and things like peanut butters. You want to use tablespoon, teaspoon, half a teaspoon, a quarter of a teaspoon. It just sets it up. It's gonna make it as accurate as possible. So you're pouring it in and just filling it up to about there. When you're measuring something out like peanut butter that can have a heaping scoop, you want to make sure that you fill it up to the brim but then level it off. Leveling it off like this is making it the most accurate it can be. You don't want to have that heaping scoop because that's unnecessary calories. Next, we're doing measuring cups. There's all different types. I found that glass just does better. It holds up longer. So whether you're doing liquids or something like a rice, something dry, you want to make sure that when you're measuring this, we'll do a half a cup. And I think I have it there, but I want to make sure. So I'm going to get down and I'm going to look, because the angle from here as compared to up here, it looks much different. So you want to get down and look at it. Lastly are these measuring spoons that are really measuring cups. The cool thing about these are, picture that in your drawer, saving a lot of space. They're collapsible. So whenever you're going to scoop something up that's sticky, you're going to reach in and then you're going to flatten it out just like you would the spoon. Now, typically sticky rice, whenever you're putting it in and out of Tupperware, it gets even stickier with some of the leftover remnants. It's kind of tough to pour out, right? You can just push on the back of it and it'll pop straight out. It makes things much easier when you're meal prepping, and it's just super convenient. It goes all the way up to a cup from a quarter of a cup. So really you can do dry things, you can do wet things, sticky things, just everything in between. You don't have to be perfect at this weighing and measuring your food thing. Just be better than yesterday, every day.